So about a week ago, Books and Lala posted her video where she announces the prompts for the Buzzwordathon for next year, and I've been dodging it any way I can so that I don't spoil it for myself. The Buzzword Readathon, the Buzzword Challenge, is something that I've been following for several years now. I really enjoy participating every year, and I'm very excited to see what prompts we'll get for next year. So I'm gonna react to the prompts, and then I'm gonna check out my Goodreads to see what books on my TBR could potentially fit these prompts.
Hello friends, I'm Kayla. You probably already know that. The first month of the year is January, in case you didn't know, and I like to make you guess. If you put them together, it's truth and lies. January is about truth and lies. I'll let you go expand into lying, but this is obviously something that's very prevalent, especially in thriller books.
I might have a bunch of truths because I feel like I have some true crime books and that they probably have truth in the name, like the truth of what actually happened or something. We'll see. Okay, so for January, truth and lies. I thought I would have a lot of truth books, but I actually have none. Instead, I have a lot of books with the word true. So like true events, and I have 4 books with lies. The Dawn of Language, The Lies of Locke-Lamora, which is probably what I will be prioritizing because that's the book I already own. By the way, these are like, this is not a strict TBR that I am choosing. In fact, I already went through all the prompts, and there are some books that while I was like looking through my Goodreads, I realized that actually I'm no longer interested in them, so I got rid of them. So I got a little cleanup of my want to read shelf. But there are other books that I've added to these prompts because they fit the prompts, but I don't actually remember what the books are about and where do I know them from, whether I'm interested in them or not. So I decided that will be my problem in the future. When the time comes to pick a book for a month, I will do the research and I will see if I'm still interested. So I just added all the books that I could find that would fit. The January books, the books that I'm most interested in, there are several that I'm very interested in, but definitely Lies of Locke-Lamora because I already own it. But the true crime story is a book that I've been wanting to read for a while and I couldn't find a reason to. But then again, we have No Stone Unturned, about forensic investigations, which I think is so interesting. Anyway, we'll see what I choose.
Moving on to February, I have 2 examples right here. Deep as the Sky, Red as the Sea. There's a lot of words in that one. This one might hone it in for you. A Song Below Water. It's water related words. So some of the months it's a specific word, some of them are general ideas.
No idea. I probably have something, I have no idea. For February we have water words, only 2 books that I could find with any kind of water anything. I searched sea, ocean, river, puddle, even rain, and that's it. That's all I could think of. And the only 2 books are Aristotle and Dante, Dive into the Waters of the World, and T.J. Klune's Somewhere Beyond the Sea, which is the sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea. I don't know if I'm still interested in the Aristotle and Dante series. I read it so long ago. Both of these books are sequels, and T.J. Klune is one that I remember much better and that I'm more excited about, but we'll see. Maybe I'll read both. We'll see.
Representing March are 2 of my favorite books, Nothing to See Here and This Thing Between Us. The word is thing. Thing is everywhere. You could make it work with everything, nothing, something. I have so many novellas as examples. Nothing But the Rain.
For March I have exactly 4 books, and I'm very excited about 2 of them. 10 Things That Never Happened by Alexis Hall. I'm excited because I loved his, I think the first book is called Boyfriend Material. Those 2 books I really enjoyed. They were so funny. So I am really looking forward to his new book, and A Place for Everything, which is a non-fiction about why everything in the alphabet is ordered the way it is. Why are we starting the alphabet with an A, and stuff like that, which I think is interesting. It is, I mean, I don't know, I've not read it, but I think it's more like a dense nonfiction, which is a little hard to be in the mood for sometimes, most of the times. And the two other books I have here is Hidden Potential by Adam Grant, Science of Achieving Greater Things, which is interesting, and Happy, why more or less everything is absolutely fine. I don't remember adding this book, but it was on my TBR. We'll see.
The next one should also be easy for you to find, because you can just read one of my favorite books, Bunny. I don't think this is hard for you to guess because there's literally only one word in this title.
Animals.
And the other one is Sharks in the Time of Saviors. That's right, my friends. It's animals. Might I also suggest when you...
This might be a little harder for me. I don't think I have a lot of books about animals or having animals in the title. We'll see. I found 5 books. One of them is a Russian book that I own. It's like a middle grade or YA, probably more YA, like horror, mystery horror, maybe. It's a part of a series, and I would translate it as Cat's Head. It's not translated into English, but other books, I was very happy to see Maya Angelou. I have not read a book by her, and I've heard so many incredible things. I would love to read I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, also such a classic. And Animal Farm I've never read. Do I want to read Animal Farm? I feel like it's one of those classics that I will definitely feel glad to have read it, but it's not one that I like want to read. Also found The Swallows, which I know has been on my TBR for a long time. I don't remember what it is. I think it's about like a detective agency or something. I don't know. And The Wren Hunt, which has also been on my TBR for a long time, and I don't know if I'm still interested in it. I think it has to do with werewolves or something. Maybe not. I don't remember.
Moving on to May. I don't know if you'll be able to get this one. How to Kill Your Best Friend and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There is one word that these titles share. This was inspired by a channel bestie of mine when we were talking about the Buzzword Reading Challenge. They said, what about those popular books right now about how-to guides, like maps to somewhere, almanacs to something, instructional guides like how to get away with murder, how to murder your whole family or whatever. I love that idea. I think it's a little too specific, so I more broadly opened it just to 2. I'm also gonna give you 2 just because somebody will ask and like, I guess so, but I'm not counting 2. Literally don't even try it.
In May, there's so many books to choose from. Just as Kayla was talking about different like guide type of books, I have a lot of those. I have a lot of nonfiction here. Let me go through them. So I have 5 Secrets of Story Structure, how to write a novel that stands out. Do I remember adding this? No. Super Communicators, how to unlock the secret language of connection. I would look into this book and see if it's something I want to read. How to Be Fine, what we learned from living by the rules of 50 self-help books. I think it's based on a podcast. I never listened to the podcast. I don't know if this is something I would like. I just like the premise of them having read 50 self-help books and what have they learned, but we'll see. I don't think this is one that I would gravitate towards. How to Build a Healthy Brain, reduce stress, anxiety, and depression, and future-proof your brain. Okay, The Method, how the 20th century learned to act, which is one that I would love to read, though I'm never in the mood to pick up a theater history book. And that's sad because I have several. Then The Energy of Money, Spiritual Guide to Financial and Personal Fulfillment, The Ancient Guide to Modern Life, which is, I think, of all of these, one that I'm gravitating towards the most, at least the ones that I've read so far. Barbarians to Angels, The Dark Ages Reconsidered. Then we have a fantasy novel, The Midnight Lie. Another nonfiction, Girls Will Be Girls, dressing up, playing parts, and daring to act differently. Then we have Widen the Window, which is a book I own and I've been reading for 2 years now. Well, I've read maybe 1 paragraph this whole year. but it's actually on my nightstand. I need to get back to it. It's just the kind of book that it's not a like a dense nonfiction, but I want to take notes. I want to highlight stuff, and so it's not the kind of book that I would take with me on like a subway ride. I need to like sit down at a desk with highlighters and stuff, and I never find the time to do that. So I would love to use the buzzword challenge to actually get to this book, to continue reading it. Then we have We Should All Be Millionaires, A Woman's Guide to Earning More, Building Wealth, and Gaining Economic Power. Always relevant. Shit, actually, the definite 100% objective guide to modern cinema has been on my TBR for years again. I'm not really much into movies, but I like having this book on my TBR in case I'm ever curious and I want to check it out. So I don't think I will get to it. Then we are back to fiction. Tuesday Mooney Talks to Ghosts. Don't know what this is. The Cautious Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands. Heard mixed things, but we'll see. 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City. I remember Rosie reading this and saying that it was very, very funny and kind of not serious, which bodes well for me. A Danger to Herself and Others. No idea what this is. Beautiful cover though. The Ones We're Meant to Find. Again, don't really remember what this is. I think it's kind of a thriller-y book.
So we had a specific one for that month. Now we have a broader concept for the month of June, and that is memory-related words. You can literally do memory. There's plenty of books out there with memory in the title.
So for June memory words, I only have 3 books. There's the nonfiction Hood Feminism, Notes from the Women White Feminists Forgot. Then I have Forgotten Garden, which I think is a historical novel. It has like a very high rating on Goodreads, but I have no idea what it is about. And Spells for Forgetting, which is a book I had recently. I think it just released or is about to be released. Magical realism with thriller and stuff. The synopsis was very interesting, so I added it. We'll see what I'm in the mood for in June.
July is my personal favorite. This was recommended by a channel bestie. I don't know if you'll be able to get it from here. This is Woman Eating, and this is Honey and Spice. Now, you need to look really closely at this one to see the example. But there is a comma after the word woman, and you can see the ampersand in there. It's punctuation. I love punctuation. Choose a children's Bible, and you have an apostrophe. Choose a first-time caller, you've got a dash. Gifted and Talented, another ampersand. The Strange Case of Jane O, there's a period. I can't further explain this one.
I feel like this one should be easy, but it will be hard to search. July, punctuation. Do you know how many nonfictions are on my TBR and how many nonfictions have the like main title, then I don't know how it's called in English, the 2 dots, and then the second title? Almost all of them. So the books that I've added here are not those. The rule I set for myself was to have punctuation in the like immediate title. The first book that came to mind was Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore, because it has a bunch of different punctuation. From my own physical TBR, I have like an actor's workbook manual type of thing, from Hamlet to The Seagull. It's in Russian, it's not translated. Another nonfiction is The Musician's Mind, Teaching, Learning, and Performance in the Age of Brain Science. Then there's Wherever You Go, There You Are, which is a book on meditation. It's very highly praised. Then I have Heaven Official's Blessings. Blessing? Heaven Official's Blessing. I don't know what this is, but I know that it's mega popular. Every bookstore I go in, there's like a wall full of merch and all the books and everything. So I want to find out what it is. I want to read it to sort of be in the know what's happening. Why is everyone freaking out over this series? Then there's Lady Tan's Circle of Women, which I've been wanting to read for a long time. I have the audiobook, so this would be perfect. What's Left of Me Is Yours, a book that's been on my TBR for a long time, and I don't remember what it is, but I know that every time I come across it and I'm like, ooh, let's remember what this is, and I read the synopsis, I'm very interested, and it stays on my TBR, but I never remember what it is about. Maybe this will get me to read it. The Witch's Heart, which I think is about Norse mythology. Blood and Sugar, which is like a historical thriller. Mr. and Mrs. Christie, which I don't know if I'm still interested in this book, but let's keep it for now. Firekeeper's Daughter, like a mystery thriller. There's been a little incident. It's an Irish book that I would love to read, but I can never find it. I cannot get access to it. So maybe I will find a way to read it in July. The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. Oh, this book, I just need to read it and get it off my TBR because I keep seeing it everywhere and I keep not picking it up. So hopefully by July, I will have already read it. The Transition Baby, a book I've heard incredible things about, and 3 books we've already seen in May, but I decided just to add them so I don't forget them. So there's this, and there's all these other, as I mentioned, nonfiction books, so there's a lot to choose from. So I love having options, but sometimes having too many options makes decision making very difficult.
The next prompt for the month of August is a specific word. Ready? Here it is. Making love with the land, comfort me with apples. It's with. You got it right.
This one is interesting. I can't wait to go on Goodreads and actually search for all books. August with. There's Agatha Christie. They do it with Mirrors, which I own, but there's like one more book that I have to read in the Marple series to get to this one. So if I do, then maybe I'll read it. If not, then no. The nonfiction, The Soul of Money, Transforming Your Relationship with Money and Life. Another nonfiction, Effortless Mastery, Liberating the Master Musician Within, which I really want to read because it's highly praised. And the fiction book, A Clock Without Hands, which looks beautiful, and I remember adding it a long time ago, but I don't remember what it is about, but I'm sure it's great.
For September, I'm really excited about this one because it just popped into my head, and then I did some polls for my members. I don't know, you might get the vibe. Every time I go on vacation, someone dies, and the writing retreat. So retreat and vacation are similar, but the concept is events in general. I'm thinking things like honeymoon. My best friend's honeymoon comes out in 2025. 4 weekends and a funeral. Wedding is good. Wedding, retreat, vacation, honeymoon, birthday, party, a brief period of time with a specific activity in mind. That's what an event is to me for this challenge. Yeah.
Maybe because of the examples that she just gave, all I can think about is romance books and thriller books. And there aren't many romance books in my TBR, so that will not happen. But maybe it's something in the thriller genre. We'll see. This one was one of the hardest ones because I have nothing. There is no wedding, funeral, party, holiday, vacation. What else did I search? Anything else. I do know that I have a lot of murder and true crime, so I thought maybe trial. Trial is an event. And I found The Trials of the King of Hampshire. I'm not sure if this works, but I'm keeping it in. And the only actual event word that I have is The Devil in the City, Murder, Magic, and Madness at the Fair That Changed America. And I looked through other books and I couldn't find anything that would work as an event.
For October, one of the themes we did in 2024 was positive, nice words. I think that was our February one. It was just happy, good for you, good feeling words like joy and happiness and love. October is for violence, bad words only. My 2 examples here are everyone in my family has killed someone. Look, it's even red. Killed. In my dreams, I hold a knife. Knife is violent in my mind. Maybe you want to read Death in Her Hands?
This is perfect. I feel like as a murder mystery reader, there should be something. Definitely. October, violent words. At first I thought there would be too many considering how many murder books I want to read, but actually wasn't that many because a lot of true crime books and murder books don't actually have violent words in the titles. Like they may have death, and I don't think death is a violent word, or blood is not a violent word for me. Like crime is also not necessarily something violent. Thief, those are not violent words in my opinion. I did add Royal Assassin because that's a book I physically own and I would love to get to it. Assassin definitely would be a violent word. Everything else is just books with murder in them. There are 2 books that we've already seen in other months: The Devil in the White City and Unspeakable Acts. Then there's Agatha Christie and Murder is Announced. Murder at Spindle Manor, which I'm very excited to read. The nonfiction The Lost Tomb and Other Real-Life Studies of Bones, Burials and Murder, which was in the Goodreads awards, and it caught my eye. I know nothing about it, but it sounds interesting. The Art of the English Murder, which is also nonfiction, which I've been interested in for a while. Murder in Old Bombay and The Strings of Murder, which both have been on my TBR for a long time and I would love to actually get to them. And The Decagon House Murders, the Japanese cult classic mystery.
Next is another easy one for you to guess. There are only 2 words in this title: Never Never. And this one is Vampires Never Get Old. So the word is never.
I might have some trouble with this one. The only book on my want to read shelf that has the word never that I've not read is 10 Things That Never Happened. That is the only one, which is fine because I really want to read this book, but it's just very surprising that there were literally no other books with the word never.
And finally, for December, here are my examples: Gone Girl, Una Out of Order. Do you see it?
Alliteration.
It's alliteration. In this context, we are going to describe alliteration as a book title that has 2 or more words that begin with the same sound. So all the words can start with the same sound: His Hideous Heart. But then
this is another one that will be hard to search for. And it was interesting searching for books that fit this prompt. We have again Widen the Window, which I already own and I'm already in the middle of. I'm just very determined to finally finish this book next year. So it's here again. The Weirdest People in the World is a nonfiction that I bought myself for my birthday this year. It's pretty big, but I'm very excited for it. The Bilingual Brain, which I just need to start because I always forget that it's actually a very short book. It's not that intimidating, but it's a nonfiction, so it's scary. Black and British, which I actually found out there's a copy of it in a library here in Moscow, so I could actually like physically get it and hold it and read it. The Feminist Fight Club, don't know if I'm still interested in. Past Mistakes, the alliteration here, I hear the ST. I don't know if that works or not, which I heard great things about this book. Madness Most Discreet. It's been on my TBR for a long time. I think it's time to read it. The Clicking of Cuthbert. Cuthbert, how do you pronounce that? Amrita recommended this to me a long time ago. She said it was very funny. Mara and Morok, which is a Russian YA fantasy book that's been very popular, and I want to get the hype, so I wanted to read it. Miranda in Milan, which I don't remember what it is about. I think Rosie recommended it, but I'm not sure. Murder at Spindle Manor again. Skin Full of Shadows. I don't know if I'm still interested in it. The Second Stranger. Thriller? Mystery thriller? I think it's just thriller. As the Wicked Watch, a mystery. The Three Dahlias. Is this a stretch? The Three? I think it works. And Strange Sally Diamond. Listen, most of these books have been on my TBR for a long time, and this is one of the things I love about this challenge is that, like, no matter how many books you actually get through during the year, even this, going through the prompts, going through your want to read shelf, and being reminded of the books that are on there, because some of them I forget they even exist because I don't see them all the time. So yeah, I love the process of finding books that fit prompts and getting like a refresher of my TBR shelf. Let me know if you know any of these books, if you recommend any to me, because there are several that I'm not sure I know what they are and if I want to read them. So if you're really passionate about some of them, let me know so I know to prioritize them. And we'll see you in my next video. Bye!